Hey everybody, and welcome to the discussion about the Great Flood. The Great Flood myth, it extends around the world. I just did a video about this, well, it's probably going to upload before this one, but I was talking about how the Great Flood myth could have very well been a comet that hit the Earth, and it could have hit the ocean. Didn't even have to hit the ocean, could have exploded upon impact. Scientists are kind of have this idea of show me the proof, and they want to see the craters, you know, but not all impacts leave craters, especially not in the ocean. So what we have to go on is basically whatever's left behind, any types of fragments or fused rock, or what they've been finding is impact diamonds, which is when a large impact occurs on the Earth, it compresses carbon into small diamonds, impact diamonds, and it can show that there was an impact of some sort. When I started writing this thing about Noah, I just wanted to take a couple notes. Sorry, not Noah, but the flood. And I flipped, this is my book of just stuff. I write everything down that I possibly learned or can think of, and I flipped to the first available page that only had a couple things on it, and it was, I was writing about Zeus, and it said God of gods, lightning bolt, royal scepter and eagle, great deluge of earth. And I thought, that's weird, because I'm picking up right where it said great deluge, whatever. It just tripped me out, because I've been having so many synchronicities that I just laugh them off now. I mean, I see, 33 and 444 everywhere. I mean, it's just off the chart. I can't even, it comes in phases, because I know it's not mental, because even when I'm consciously aware of it, it doesn't happen. It's just some random times. So anyway, I figured it was important to share this because of the synchronicity. That's what I'm saying. According to the scientific studies that they found, on May 10th, 2807 BC, 5,000 years ago approximately, off the coast of Madagascar, 3-mile wide comet or meteor hit there. They're saying somewhere in the Indian Ocean. Now see, I don't know, I haven't looked at the map. I don't know if those are two different places or if Madagascar is in the Indian Ocean, but anyway, they found evidence of major tsunamis, huge 700-meter tsunamis just wiping out, going miles inland, and, a large impact like that. I mean, we can't fathom what a 3-mile wide comet would do if it hit off the coast of, anywhere. And what I was saying before is that I understood the tsunami idea, but I couldn't fathom how it could rain for 40 days and 40 nights. I just didn't understand that. And until I understood the physics and science behind it, the impact of a comet and the temperature at which it hits and what it would do, how high it would vaporize those water droplets, it would rain consistently for a very long time. And a lot of the evidence, a lot of the stories, they talk of hot rain or burning rain. And this is very interesting, because what really got me is when I started looking into the horned serpent. There's Serpent Mound, Ohio, and there are many traditions around the world where they draw a picture of a snake or a serpent or of some sort, dragon, whatever it may be, with the second horn coming out. And apparently that horn, according to many astronomers, would signify the way it looks to them is like a comet. As a comet's coming in, when the sun's hitting it, it's blowing off all the tail. It can actually diverge into two tails and appear from the Earth to almost look like a U shape, kind of. But if it's going just right, it could look like a serpent with a horn on it, basically. If something were to happen like that in history, and it had come near the Earth, it could cause major problems, and of course people would write about it for years to come, for millennia to come, and they would definitely get involved in writing as much of it down as they could, because when something like that happens, you talk about it for generations to come. It's one of those things that gets passed down. Since the scientific evidence is lacking, a lot of scientists won't admit it, but what they found is microfossils that had been basically melted, you know, in place. And they'd also found way inland, up on hillsides, you know, where there shouldn't be any shells, you know, fresh shells, showing that there had been water there, and that a lot of this stuff had actually come from the sky. It had shot up into the atmosphere and then rained back down, not only fossils, but small microbial life that lives in the ocean, that would be fused into this like debris as it falls, as well as the diamonds, impact diamonds, and whichever of those you know, isotopes, radioactive isotopes that the comets usually have. They found of all of this, so they basically confirmed that it's true. I mean, that this happened, and they've even found some small craters in the ocean. But like I said, you know, it depends on how big the meteor is. I mean, if something comes and hits the ocean, it's not going to leave an impact if it explodes right over the top. I mean, it could explode literally right at the surface, and depending on the size of it, you know. But 3 mile wide would definitely leave leave a mark. What else did I have? That was all I had. I didn't really have anything written down, I guess. It's all in my head. I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget it. But it's pretty amazing. I mean, the whole idea behind this happening, and if it's happened before, you know, a lot of the Native American folklore, they talk about the horned serpent, and there was a comet right before settlers arrived here, and so I'm not sure if that had any significance or bearing upon, like, say, the Cucuna, the blue star, the Hopi blue star prophecy. That could very well be tied into comets, and a lot of people believe it is. But, you know, there are many different ways to perceive it, of course, and so each person has their own thing, and their own way of seeing it. But after all the research I'd done personally on, you know, which wasn't a whole lot, I mean, I have a very wide variety of things that I study, so, but I just hadn't found quite the scientific backing to understand how it works, how that could happen. Major rain for that long that would flood the earth. And I gotta say that I've learned a lot by just observing, because I don't really know how accurate the science is. I'm glad that the science is here to help back up what people's theories are. So when the science does work, it's good. And I think that one's pretty interesting, and I'm pretty sure with the Earth being 70% water, there have been a lot of impacts in the past. And when people worry about, you know, something happening, like a war or a virus or an invasion, shit, any of the weird things, but I think that the most likely scenario would be either a virus or a impact or a solar event that took out the electrical grid. So, you know, I'd say in my top 3 actual thoughts of things that could happen to this planet, you know, meteors and comets are up there, because you don't see most of them until they're almost here. So people think they're monitoring the whole sky, and they only catch a very small section of the sky. You can only watch, I think it's what, like 5% or 1%, something like that, of the sky. I don't know what the statistic is. It's low. You can only watch so much of it, you know, and they do monitor what they can, but something could come whipping out from behind the sun before you know it. So, anyway, interesting things to look about. Just look up the horned serpent and see what you can find on it. And maybe Eric, you can help me out on this one. Peace.